What's up guys, welcome back to Classic Octane. I'm Taylor. Today we're going to be tearing into the Triumph. Finally, you guys have been waiting for this project for a good while. We started one video on this bike and then we bought that CB550 and started building that, but now we're back on this. So let's get going. All right, before we tear into this guy, I want to do two things. One, let you guys know that this spot is blank and there's nothing over here. Those of you who follow me on Instagram, I'll put my Instagram up on the screen right now. It's just at Classic Octane, no space or anything. Know that I did sell the CB550 already. And I know that's going to surprise a lot of new subscribers, but those of you who have been on the channel for a while, will know kind of the deal. So I like to build these bikes with the intent on selling them. So I try to find them in pretty rough shape for good prices, put some work into them, do some custom stuff, get them running reliably and looking good, and then flip them. So that was the plan. I actually had a subscriber reach out to me and kind of inquire about buying the bike. I gave them a number that was a number that I was happy with and was willing to let the bike go for, and they were excited about it. So they came out and looked at it, fell in love, and picked it up. So that bike is now gone. I do kind of wish I would have kept it a little bit longer to really get to ride it and take it out on the road and have fun with it, because it did ride really nicely. But we have this guy. So a lot of you guys are new and have never seen a video on this. Granted, I've only made like one before. But this is a 73 Triumph Bonneville T140V. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of work on it, but luckily none of that work is going to have to be mechanical. I say lucky because I've never worked on a Triumph before, or any British bike for that matter. So I wanted to get a good starting bike that was running reliably and starts right up and hauls ass and all the fun stuff, good brakes on it and everything, to start my hardtail project, because I didn't want to be down in the weeds for a while trying to rebuild a motor I don't know anything about, or I kind of wanted just to basically do a cosmetic build, and that's exactly what this bike's going to be. So I'll throw a clip in right now of this bike firing up before I tore it apart. So as you can see, this bike is really loud because there's basically just straight pipes on it, but it sounds really badass and is going to be a really awesome bobber. So in today's video, I'm going to try to kind of take as much of the rear of the bike apart as possible to get kind of an idea of where we're going to start to chop it. I think I'm going to have to pull the motor on this bike, which doesn't look very complicated at all. I just need to have a buddy over here to, I'm sure it's not very light, so I have to have somebody over here to help me pick the damn thing up and get it out of the frame, because I'm sure that'll be awkward. But really, I'm going to pull the tank off, and I'm not going to have to touch anything forward of that, because like I said, it's kind of all sorted and stuff already. Going to chop the back of the frame off, and I got this hardtail. It's a David Bird, I think is the name. Those of you who are familiar with Triumphs and hardtails are going to be familiar. I'll throw a link in the description to this exact hardtail. If I remember correctly, it's a 2-inch drop and a 4-inch stretch. I don't know, hell, it was so damn long ago when I ordered it. I'll put the stats up too of exactly the stretch and the drop of this particular hardtail. So that's the plan for today. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't get a lot of this stuff removed off the back of the bike. It's the next day. I wanted to hook back up the whole electrical system, because I pulled this bike apart originally from its running condition hell, it was probably 4 months ago now, something like that. And I did a great job at not keeping track of where the wires went. So I was kind of looking at it before I was gonna start to tear this apart. Like, okay, let me just try to remind myself how, you know, everything's hooked up. There's not that many, you know, components on this bike. It's a really simple bike. There's you know, electronic ignition on this bike. I think it's Boyer is who made that. There's a modern regulator, rectifier. So I started looking at it and I realized, or I remembered, that these Triumphs are a positive ground, which is so weird to me. Because look, I mean, look at this right here. This is the positive side of the battery, right? Short wire straight to the frame. That, with how like I'm used to Hondas and cars and everything else, totally makes my brain melt a little bit, because as you know, in any other vehicle, if you went from a positive straight to the frame, you'd be sparking and you know, shorting out and heating this thing up and smoking and catching something on fire, and you know, it would not go well at all. So when I literally hooked this wire up, I was like just tapping it, touching it, waiting for it to spark. But on this bike, you can see now, I'll turn the key on and I'll turn my headlight on. Hopefully you can see everything works. I don't think my horn's gonna work because it's not hooked up, but yeah, so everything works again. So I got everything hooked up properly, but man, that was really blowing my mind. So now I'm going to actually throw some quick little, you know, tape or whatever, just for, you know, a few weeks from now, when I'm putting it back together. I won't have to do the same process again and look at the wiring diagram and figure out where the wires go, because they'll already be labeled. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. And then I'm going to start to pull the battery back out and then start to disassemble kind of the foot pegs, and we'll see how far we get for the rest of the bike getting disassembled. One question I had for you guys, any of you guys that are familiar with Triumphs or, you know, old British, you know, BSAs or whatever, pretty much any bike with a positive ground like I was talking about, do you think I'll have any issue running like an anti-gravity like lithium ion battery? Because I want like a little small high quality battery, but I want it to be thinner and stuff than what I use on my CB550, so I think I'm going to go anti-gravity on this one. It does have a, like I said, a modern regulator, voltage regulator and rectifier. That's the only issues I've heard with those anti-gravity batteries, is with the old, you know, 60s and 70s style voltage regulators. They could overcharge those lithium ions and actually burn them up. But if this one has a modern regulator, I don't know. If any of you guys have any idea about that, I tried to do a little bit of research and couldn't really find anything. So if any of you guys know, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Cool, let's get to tearing the rest of this thing down. Got the rear wheel off, got all the foot pegs off, the rear brake, everything off. So we're coming along. Next steps, I need to modify my little jack, if you guys remember from my last build, to fit underneath this bike, because this bike is lower. So I need to modify that jack a little bit. This is the one I'm talking about right here. So I need to make just shorter little extensions for it, so that I can go right here underneath the frame, so that I can take off the rear shocks and the swing arm and everything else. So before, let's see, I need to do that. Once I get that supported, honestly, I think it's going to be time to pull the engine out, which I'm gonna, like I said in my last video, I'm gonna have to have a buddy come and help me pull this out for obvious reasons. It's gonna be pretty damn heavy. So I'm going to start marking off, taping off some things, making sure I have a really good idea of where everything goes when I go to put it back together, because obviously I haven't really worked on a lot of these bikes before. So I want to make sure I have a good mental picture of where everything is supposed to go and how everything's supposed to work, so that when I get the new rear half of the frame put on, I can kind of put the motor back in and hook everything up properly. So that's going to be the plan from now. It might be a little while before my next video, because I am going to be traveling, but I'll try to get you guys another video as soon as I can. So thanks for following along with the build. The Triumph build is fully underway now, which is very exciting. So make sure to like and subscribe, and follow along for the next video. All right, thanks guys. Catch you on the next one.